guys, welcome back. So, today we decided to go into something that's probably a little bit of a controversial topic. It's definitely something that's been in the media a good bit. I don't think our opinion would necessarily ruffle too many feathers. So today we're going to discuss whether straight people should be allowed or should attend queer venues and queer kind of events.
So there's been a bit of controversy, kind of in the news and kind of in general over the last few weeks, especially, well, for instance, we're going to Manchester Pride, for instance, that's an example, in August?
Yep.
August. And there was a lot of, feathers ruffled, we'll just say, about Ariana Grande being the headline act. So automatically she was probably going to be one of the headline acts because obviously we know the tragedies that happened
But you see, that's the thing, but that's, like, when you think into it, that's the obvious answer.
Yeah.
But from the outside looking in, people just see Ariana Grande as headlining Manchester Pride, and then there was a lot of people, specifically people online, that kind of went off and were kind of like, oh, I don't know if this is right.
Okay,
Like, of course it's like a heteronormative artist headlining Pride, and that kind of stuff, and like, I do see where everyone comes from.
Yeah.
But I disagree.
I disagree in the sense as well. We were actually just having a discussion about this. Like, for instance, there is going to be the artists such as like Years and Years. There's going to be Kim Petras.
It would be amazing to really be able to showcase queer artists and that kind of stuff. But when you tear it all back, there's a couple of different elements to it. So Manchester Pride is all about celebrating Pride,
who you are and you know, everything.
Everything
queer,
everything that kind of falls under the whole umbrella of Pride. And the festival itself is there to do so many different things. It's to be the queer space for people to express themselves,
celebrate,
celebrate and feel comfortable
about who you are and what you like, and not to feel like insecure. It's like Gay Paddy's Day.
Yeah, to be fair, it's kind of like Gay Paddy's Day in the sense that it's like, it's our moment to shine, but it's also our moment then to remember the history that we've gone through.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important...
You have all those people that argue, you know, straight pride, why do we get a straight pride? And you're just there like,
yeah, but it's
every day is straight pride.
Every day is straight pride, but it's the same, like every day is International Men's Day. If we want proper equality, we wouldn't have any events of the sort. It'd just be, we'd all just live happily ever after. Gay pride is fun. Pride means something different for everyone, but for me, pride is more so... It's kind of like a community feeling.
Yeah.
It's like everyone just joins together and just has a mutually...
Come together and rise.
Come together and we can rise. But I think that's more so about it. But going back to the topic of, like, for example, Ariana Grande headlining Manchester Pride. Like, she is an ally for the community, but also she is a huge part of the community. Like, she's an icon and an...
Into You is the gay wagon wheel to the straight people. I'm thinking of local bars like in Fermanagh, like that I knew. There was Pat's, there was The Bush. Very creative names. The Bush sounds like a lesbian bar to me. I don't know. Anyway, weddings, people go mad for a bit of, like, you know, what's that song? Rock the Boat. Like, you know, they all get down with...
Kind of good though.
Can't be rocking the boat, like, but
we love to rock the boat.
We love to rock the boat. If you see, I know you haven't watched Dairy Girls yet, but yeah, Rock the Boat is going to be the same for you.
But that's the exact example of when I say for Pride for me as a community is that everyone enjoys that song.
Everyone's going to get up and bop. Doesn't matter.
Everyone
like,
loves that song.
Everyone's going to be dancing.
Like, I've never spoken to someone that doesn't like it, and if you don't like it, leave a comment down below so we can block you.
Yeah. And there was also controversy. Oh my god, controversy. That's the word.
Controversy, whatever way you want to say it.
In one of our local queer spaces in the gay bar, with some straight people entering.
So right, you know, there's a lot of clickbait headlines.
Yeah.
And I don't know the full story, so this is not me telling anyone the facts because I don't know them.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, and from the brief bit that I do know, the headline reads that straight woman through a glass in like a local gay bar, because basically they were shamed or called out for being straight. This is the definition of straight pride. Why don't we have straight pride? All this kind of stuff. We don't have straight pride because you have straight privilege.
Yes.
Not you specifically, because this is not an attack on you. But in general, no, there is that thing of straight privilege, you know. There was a time when, like, queer people couldn't go to every venue.
Yeah.
There was a time when queer people couldn't be in public. Never mind, you know, a specifically queer venue.
Area, yeah.
And as well, we use the queer term to try and umbrella with everyone. So
because like that includes, you know, that's why there's LGBT plus because like,
but the thing is
there's
though,
so many.
there is so many, and it's very much an LGBTQIA plus, and it is, and I think the plus is a huge factor. But the plus is the part, in my opinion, the plus is the part that encompasses why Ariana Grande can headline Pride, because it's there for everyone.
Like there was this other argument just when you mentioned the A. Now the A stands for asexual, but there was an actual, I remember as well reading about, like there was a lot of people that thought that the A should stand for ally.
See, this is the thing, right? So for the longest time I actually thought it was ally.
Yeah, fair.
Now that was just, you know, when a new letter gets added on, or there's kind of more, not a more of a revelation, but when it kind of extends, it is, and I understand it can be confusing for a lot of people, but I actually did think it was ally.
And that's the thing as well, we love our like straight allies. You need straight allies in the community. You need your straight, you do. I have loads of really straight best friends at home. Like, I mean, I want them to come to the George, or I want them to come to Street 66.
But the thing is, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is controversial or not. I don't know if it's going to sound whatever.
Get it all out.
Go off this on me if you like. But I don't feel like I need a straight ally.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I need an ally to be
who I want to be.
Like, no, but I don't feel like I need an ally to be specifically straight.
Yeah.
If I want an ally, I want an ally.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to be putting people in boxes either.
Exactly.
Yeah, great to have an ally, and yes, we do need straight allies.
Yes.
But we don't need straight allies because they're straight.
No, I genuinely thought there was lesbian, gay, bi, and trans, and there was also straight, obviously. But like, even I didn't know what pansexual was. I genuinely thought pansexual was like an addiction to crockery or something like that. I did not know what that was. Sorry to all the pansexuals out there. Educate yourself. If you don't know what something is, just, if there's a term like, I identify as a demisexual, bisexual, some people are going to be like, do you like Demi Lovato? And I'm like, yeah, she's great, but that's not what
happened to you recently.
Oh, it did, yeah.
But sorry to interrupt you, that's an exact example of how, like, say, for example, I'm your ally.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need to be the same.
Yeah.
I don't even need to fully understand it, I just need to support it.
I don't think anyone would bat an eyelid if Lady Gaga was the headliner.
That's the thing, and this is what I had been saying earlier, is that if Gaga was announced, no one would blink an eyelid, no one would question it at all. It would be great, she sold out, that's the end of it. But like, that just doesn't make sense, because granted, she's not necessarily the same level as Ariana Grande, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But should that matter?
No, that's what I mean. It's like,
just because she's more famous, just because she has more songs, just because she has less controversy, but also the significance of Ariana coming back to Manchester.
That was so, like,
it's huge.
When we were watching, I remember it was like 2 years ago, when she came back to Manchester and did that One Love tour, like, that took a lot of courage. The big show that she did, there was like a few artists. I mean, I know this wasn't a queer, based night. It was for everyone again. Like, that was for all of Manchester coming together over a tragedy.
Having been directly a part of Dublin Pride for like the past number of years, that's what you've seen. More and more, there's been more people getting involved, more people, and like, yes, there's more expression of queer people and queer culture, but there's also more allies coming out, and there's also, it's just becoming like, in a weird way, it's becoming a family event, because it's just for everyone. It's normalised.
Kids and you see it, and it's great, like, because everyone, I guarantee everyone in your family, there's one gay person, and if there isn't, you're the gay person.
Yeah, and I think if someone's feels threatened because their straight identity is being questioned, well then, to be perfectly honest, we need to listen to that as well. Because
do you remember,
to an extent,
Panty had that, it was actually like just before the marriage ref, Panty had that speech, was it in Smock Alley?
And she in the Abbey.
Oh, the Abbey, sorry. And
a noble call, really good, link down below.
Yeah, we'll leave it here if you haven't seen it before. It blew up the internet for a while though, I remember, so you most likely have seen this. But with that, she mentioned that how she got a milk carton thrown at her and she looked down at herself every time. She hated herself for it, because she was like, do I look queer? Do I stand out? You know what I mean? I used to do that. I used to look at myself and go, oh, if I were...
Did that happen?
Yeah, that's what happened. That was the kind of spot. Yeah, somebody threw like a milk bottle at her, and then they were like mentioned some kind of slur, and she was kind of like, oh, do I, like, checking herself, like, do I look gay? Or even when it was, isn't it wrong?
Oh, yes. Sorry, yes, I do remember. I was for some reason.
You're grand.
But that's such a thing. I studied theatre.
Yeah.
So I kind of found my tribe really early on.
Yes.
And like from like previous experience working in theatre and in television, you just like for me, I was fortunate. I was lucky. I found my tribe quick enough that I was never really too out of place.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like I was being slotted into like, you know, a sports and fitness club where it was predominantly straight men, and it was like in any way uncomfortable or judgmental. It wasn't, and to be honest, I think it's a credit to some of the institutions and the colleges that they have an accepting and open atmosphere. Yeah. And if the environment is like that, it kind of trickles down as well. Yeah. And that is to tie it all back. That's exactly what Pride is, or a queer venue is. It's you do you express yourself, and you know, find yourself as well. Yeah. And that's exactly my whole point of why shouldn't she headline Pride? The fact that they want to go, whether it's because they have absolute FOMO because they're not going to be there, or whether it's because they, you know, question anything themselves, or whether it's because they want to be an ally, or whether it's because they want to have just a good session. Yeah. Let them. What crosses the boundary for me is when anyone, however it may be, whether it was one of my straight friends, they come along, if they start to encroach on like that queer space or that queer identity and say that's right or to say it's wrong, that's where I'd have a problem.
Draw the line. I'm like that as well when it comes to, like, for instance, if we were out in a gay bar and, for instance, they're not usually allowed in them in queer spaces, but there's like, say, hen parties and, you know, stags, and unfortunately hen parties come along and maybe they think it'll be really fun to go and stare at the drag queens, or for instance, as if they're like zoo animals. We've had those experiences.
But like, I have that experience every week. So myself and Ruth, Miss Roots, we host drag hen parties in the Potbelly Pig, and they're private events, and it's usually, like, based on experience, all straight white women, and there's kind of an element of, there's always one in the group that usually is the
ringleader,
but the one that's like the gawky one, and the one that wants to touch and feel and kind of, you know, cast their own dispersions, and that's okay because they usually end up leaving a little bit more educated. But who's going to be the one to educate them? Yeah, exactly. You know, like, if we don't have events like Pride, if we don't allow them in queer spaces or queer venues, then of course they're going to see it like a zoo. And of course, when we go to the zoo and we see a polar bear that we don't see rocking up every other day down the street,
down the Ballyfermot Road, like,
we don't see it like zipping down doing donuts and all. But if we open up and we allow them into kind of our space and we kind of say, you know, hey, you're welcome to join. Yeah. But that's all they can do. They can only join in and contribute. They can't feel like they can take away because it's wrong to do. You shouldn't dress like this. Men shouldn't wear makeup. Whatever. My personal opinion is no. We shouldn't. There should never be a ban. A blanket ban.
No more than them banning. We were banned from marrying same-sex people, is it? Same-sex
people.
Humans. That only passed only in 2015, and that was a majority vote over the Irish public. We're still trying to get it in the north. Like, I'm originally from Northern Ireland, and it's tough. I don't think there's
It's tough. But there's a huge difference when you go into a society like, so you walk into Dublin City and there's much more of a queer acceptance. Yeah. But then you go to somewhere that doesn't have it, and queer culture is still the zoo.
If I was talking to somebody, I don't know, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually going to a drag show at the weekend, I'm actually going to support my friends, I'm going to the Potbelly Pig, blah blah blah, and they're like, wouldn't be for me now. That's okay. Football wouldn't be for me. But, you know, so in one way I might be like, if they were like, I'm going to the match on Saturday, I'd be like, great, have a good time. But you don't have to say. But that's
okay. There's no need to be like,
wouldn't be for me now.
Be for me now.
Oh, wouldn't be my sort of thing.
Yeah. That's what gets me so much. It's like, you can do what you want to do. Yeah. I'll do what I want to do. I'm not going to stop you. You're not going to stop me. We'll get on grand. But when you try and stop me, then that's when, when you try and stop anyone else, that's when there's kind of a conflict.
A friction, I
think that's probably the biggest part of. But for example, okay, so I was part of an event that was run in conjunction with Belong To Bonnie and Clyde. Huge kudos to her for organising it, and the whole team as well. it was called Drag Aid, and this was the second event. The first one was 2 years ago, and all the proceeds, it was a charity event, table quiz, show, kind of moment all mixed together, and it was for, all the proceeds were basically going towards charities in Chechnya, where gay people are, it's illegal, it's outlawed, even like queer people, so anything that's kind of not the heteronormative way is totally banned, and they're put in concentration camps, so on and so forth. It's absolutely horrific. And the fact that even still like there was a huge media like coverage of it 2 years ago, and still it's going on, and still it's okay, it's not okay, but it's who's doing something about it. Like of the people that go to that, the kind of, everyone just has a smile on their face. And
nobody's out to harm anyone.
No one's out to harm anyone. Everyone's there for a good time. But aside from that, though, it's so strange because to us, that's becoming a new normal. A straight girl rocks into a queer venue, and they don't have to wear heels. They don't have to be wearing a dress that's uncomfortable to sit in. They don't have to have, you know, their hair a certain way, anything.
No, you want to
and that happens. Like one of my best friends will rock up to a queer venue in just, you know, her trainers and whatever, and will have a great time. And
you have free to dance. You're not uncomfortable.
Exactly.
And all your favorite pop songs are there. Like.
That's the thing. But as well, that's their choice. They should be able to just, do you know what, I want to wear a shirt and have a casual kind of night and have just a bit of a bop. Go wherever you want. That's grand. The people are great. The drinks are flowing. I think it's so funny how, you know, the media will jump on this thing of like, oh, this straight person got this treatment in a gay venue, blah. No. They probably got that treatment because they probably provoked it.
Right, guys. So I think we've kind of wrapped up kind of what we were trying to say.
Look, I think to summarise, I think the moral of the story: don't put people in a box. Straight people are welcome if they're willing to play by our rules and have a good time. And we can't judge you if you don't judge us, and it's the vice versa. Look, we all just need to get on. Dublin Pride, hop on it, make sure you're there.
And the route is back to the way it used to be.
We got the good route back. Thanks so much for listening, and thanks so much for joining us on another video.